So let's start with context. This is describing what we're doing, why we're doing it, how we're doing it. We're giving context to an exercise or a drill for our athletes. We want to do this because, context increases motivation. When our athletes know why they're doing something, and if they understand how it's going to help them, they know where it fits into their tactics or into the bigger technique. Now we know their motivation improves, and this improves motor learning. So we want to make sure we give them context. One of the ways we deal with a lot of human interactions, especially coaching, is through analogies. It's the way we learn a lot of stuff. We talk about it's like something else. We take something familiar they know, and we describe something new that's like it. This gives them a way to grasp this new concept. So, for instance, we could have somebody who knows what a cat is, but they don't know what a cheetah is. But we can tell them it's like a cat, but it's bigger, really fast on the savannas in Africa, and it might eat you if it catches you. Will they know exactly what a cheetah is? No, but they have a pretty good idea because we took something they already knew. So it's like is a really powerful tool. When we're talking about a basketball player making a quick stop and change of direction, we can talk about putting on the brakes. Now, do they actually have brakes they're putting on? Of course not, but they understand what we're talking about. When we have that tennis player, we really want them to put power into that forehand shot. We can talk about exploding through the ball. Now, I hope nothing's exploding, but they're going to understand it's like that. We often use an analogy for athletes' bodies, the physical machine, like a race car, another high-performance machine. And when it comes to the brain, we often use an analogy of a computer like I did earlier. So these are analogies, and they're one of the best ways for us to understand things. And if we're doing a good job with an analogy, it's going to have more impact. To do a good job with analogy, there's some key things we have to have. First of all, we have to keep it simple. This shouldn't be a long diatribe. That's complicated. It's got to be simple and straightforward. It's got to be familiar. You have to understand what brakes on a car are for the analogy of putting on the brakes for deceleration to make sense. You have to know what a cat is for the cheetah analogy to make sense. They have to be similar. There's got to be some key qualities. The key quality we're really trying to get across has to be similar. Ideally, if we're really good and going more in depth in a bigger context, we want to add an emotional element and we want to add a storytelling element. These help people pay more attention, focus, and learn from them. But those first three are critical in any analogy we're using.